Let's forget about the wedge or the screw or the lever. Maybe my favorite mechanical machine is a detent. Detent. D-E-T-E-N-T. Detent. Pronounced detent or detent. This is a mechanical structure or mechanical, I don't know, I want to say technology, but it's not that sophisticated. It's a mechanical feature that holds two parts together temporarily. It's a very specific feature that holds two parts temporarily with a certain kind of mechanism. And so this is not a screw. This is not a nail. You aren't bonding things together forever. This is not wood glue. Think of a detent as like the Post-it note adhesive of mechanisms. So you know how Post-its are they've got this adhesive on them that allow you to temporarily fix the neon papers to walls or tables or whatever, your face, and you can take the Post-its off. It's a temporary fixation. Well, a detent helps you temporarily fix two parts together too. And a very, very simple example of it would be, let's say you have two metal blocks. Imagine two blocks, they're metal, and you want to fix them together temporarily. Well, you might put a little divot or pit or groove in one of them on one face. Can you imagine that? You take a little tiny scoop and scoop out a little pit, and then on the other block, you have a bump or a protrusion of some sort, you know? And that bump fits perfectly inside the groove of the other block. And so you can pop the two blocks together, you know, pop the bump right on top of the groove, and you know what? Those two blocks will stay in place, more or less, as long as you don't push it too hard. Push it too hard and the bump will not stay in the groove, and you'll pop the blocks off, and there you go. So that's a very, very simplistic description of a detent. There's actually way more sophisticated examples. There are detents inside ratcheting socket wrenches, which is another whole set of engineering or mechanical engineering jargon or construction jargon, but whatever, you can Google it. But it's the special kind of wrench that allows you to turn or apply torque or apply force in one direction only. So there's a detent mechanism that is inside there that helps the wrench only go one way. Or like another good example is in a bunch of plastic devices. When you have knobs, like in a car radio, or let's go back to the 1980s and think about stereos and stuff. You got these knobs that you turn, and you can feel there's a tactile sensation. You can feel it clicking as you turn the volume knob. Well, probably because there are some internal plastic detents in there. And every time you feel a click, it's like a bump snapping out of a groove and falling into another bump. So I don't know why I like this word so much. I think it's because it's something that I only learned when I started working as a biomechanical engineer for the first time, and I had to design these things a little bit in these test fixtures that I was making. And I just encountered the word, and it was kind of neat. It comes from French. Don't confuse a detent with a détente. And a détente, pronounced in the really American accented English that I've got, a détente is a relaxation of troubles, a relaxation of pressures, a relaxation of really cold and aggressive relationships. It's like two people at war. Well, if you declare a truce, that's like a détente. And so a detent is like a relaxation of forces as well, because as the bump slides out of those grooves, you're relaxing the forces holding your mechanical parts in place. So détente and a detent in English, they both come from the French détente, if I'm going to pronounce that correctly, and détente in French is relaxation. So you got some etymological information here, and you got some engineering information here. That's our engineering word of the day, detent. Hey, this is Pius Wong, your host of this podcast, and some kind of engineer, I don't know anymore. I also host the podcast called the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast. And if you didn't tell by the name, it's about education before college in K through 12. Go on over to k12engineering.net and subscribe. Thanks for listening.